This episode of Out of Spec Reviews is brought to you by Magna. More on that later. This is a Rivian R1T at a ChargePoint DC fast charging station because we are exploring the weight versus aerodynamic penalty of towing. At least dipping our toes in the water because we're doing pretty much the best job we can with every resource we have. Let me tell you about what we're going to do. We're going to basically see if having a lot of weight on your trailer gives you less range than having a inefficient aerodynamic shaped trailer with no weight, if that kind of makes sense. Well, we have the trailer working here, but you have some opinions about the lighting.
Yeah, the turn signals and the brake lights are way too small.
On the Rivian.
Yeah.
Look at that. So this and the turn signal are the same? I think that's the case.
And the brake light.
So which one is the brake light? This one?
Yeah, I'll press on the brake.
Oh yeah, turn the turn signals off, or the hazards.
It's been a long day.
Okay, so that's the brakes. Wow, that looks nice up there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then hit the turn signal with the brakes. Dang, that's kind of annoying that you lose. That's like in very 1990s GM thing.
So it wasn't this brake light, this entire thing?
No.
Just the corner bit.
The corner bit off with a really bright.
So when you hit the brakes, it's just the bottom bit, but when you hit the turn signal, it's this and that.
Okay.
With the brakes.
But also with regen, it doesn't come on.
Yeah, the regen lighting thing, we're going to bring that out. We'll do that on the runway. We'll explain all that. Let's go to Lowe's and fill up this trailer with heavy junk. Cinder blocks. Jordan, what's going on here?
The lights are very dimly lit on the trailer.
The lights are on, but the truck is off.
Yeah.
Huh, phantom drain.
What happens if I unplug it?
I don't know, go unplug the truck, see what happens. Wait, but if you do that, it's going to probably unlock the truck. Let's try it. The connector might be locked to the truck, I don't know. And now the lights are on. And the trailer lights made no difference. So is that literally all the trailer lights? Here, let's lock it. Bird chirp, reverse lights. Are you sure you plugged in the connector all the way? Huh. Well, this is something to be mindful of at least. So here's how we're going to test everything. We have the Rivian R1T, again, 135 kilowatt hour pack, 4 motor, all-terrain tire option. We are DC fast charging it up to 85% state of charge until it clicks off. So we have a standard, the truck's going to stop charging when, at the same point pretty much. Then we have a trailer, which doesn't look that level right now, but that's because the truck's in high suspension. When we actually drive, it is level, with 1,500 pounds of basically weight ballast, sand. And we've loaded it properly, I think. And we've tried to strap it down properly. Okay, so anyway, we're doing the best we can. It's midnight right now. We're starting this video, but I really want to explore this topic because I genuinely don't know. What we're going to do is run this from here in Wellington, Colorado, up to Cheyenne and back. You guys are familiar with our loop. We do this all the time, and basically just going to go 57.5 miles there and back. And we're going to see how efficient the truck is with basically a totally open trailer. I get that there's a gate back here. We did look to see if we can remove it, but it's got a whole bunch of holes in it, and it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. With the weight down low, not impacting aerodynamics really. Then what we're gonna do is take all of this 1,500 pounds exactly of weight out of this trailer, which weighs 1,300 pounds. Trailer weighs 1,300 pretty much on the nose. This is 1,500 pounds worth of payload. And then we're gonna put basically some wooden boards back here and strap it around the metal chassis of the trailer so we don't put all the stress on the gate. And see if basically having this aerodynamic brick is going to be less efficient unloaded than this trailer loaded. And we pretty much have this thing at maximum GVWR. This trailer it could only hold another 200 pounds over this. And we figured, oh, well, we'll just kind of keep it safe like this. By the way, want to say a huge thanks to these guys. Take a look over here, D&E Trailer Sales right there. They lent us the trailer. They're super awesome. They're basically all in. They're watching the YouTube stuff, and they said you can come and borrow any trailer anytime. So if you live in Colorado, You need a trailer. D&E Trailer Sales. I think we're going to spec our trailer with them and have it custom made for a car hauler, which will be pretty sick. In terms of the hitch setup, we just have a little bit of a totally adjustable hitch. All is normal, 7-pin connector. No trailer brakes on this trailer. That's partly why it can't handle that much weight. And it's cold, so it's 31 degrees right now. And it's not really actually getting that much colder throughout the night. No wind, perfect conditions, constant temperature, everything's freezing. This is all frozen. Like, it looks like water, but it's literally ice. So that's why we are starting at midnight once the temperature's fallen, and now it should level out, just to make everything even. We'll basically run back to the office, unload this, put the brakes on it, then recharge the truck back up to 85%. That way we can ensure that the batteries are both warm when we start each test, so they don't cool down in between. And if we're at lower state of charge, then we would need more current, which would mean more heat loss, and it might be a little bit skewed. So we're trying to do this as scientifically as possible. We are at 83% state of charge, only 2% more until the truck will say, hey, we're done. There's only 3 levels you can stop the truck charging at. Let's go inside, I'll show you. Let's run around, let's do it real quick. And I'll show you the levels. Woo! So inside here, you can see there's 85% extended, daily, or trip. You can't like slide a slider and adjust infinitely. And I appreciate that they don't want you full charging this truck, which is great, because daily driving 70%, who needs any more? It's better for your battery. But I do wish I could like set it to 40% for long-term storage, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, we have the new software, because I know you're going to ask. We already have a video of it. How do I show you the software? Settings, vehicle, updates, boom. And this is the newest as of this week for us. We also have, what else? The new, this thing, trip calculation. So we've already put 423 miles on this truck. We picked it up yesterday, and we've just been testing it around. So what we're gonna do is reset all of this. We've been towing a lot today. Actually, this thing's had a trailer on it all day. Multiple different trailers, tons of different weight in it. And yeah, we're just warming up the cabin, connected to the DC fast charger. As soon as we leave, heated seats go off, but we'll keep, and I have my heated steering wheel on. People were asking, does it heat up the whole wheel? Feels even to me around the whole wheel.
Impressive.
And it's mostly on the outside, but the inside's okay. So there's your answer for a lot of people who are curious. Definitely is a nice heated wheel.
Heated seat, or heated wheel connoisseur right there.
Yeah, well, there's some cars that only heat like 9 and 3, and then some cars that do the opposite, and some cars that don't heat the inside. I was driving the new Nissan Pathfinder last week, and I had to drive it like this because anytime I would grip the wheel around, the inside was frozen. Anyway, we're at 84%. We're almost good to go. What we're gonna do is reset this as soon as we leave, jump on the highway, 70 miles an hour, Wyoming, back to here. Hopefully the roads don't get too icy. And then we'll swap around the whole trailer, put the boards on, and do it again. It's gonna be a late night, I think. We also have a 6 a.m. start time tomorrow morning. Where's the Red Bull? Right here. Gives you wings. That's what I need. Let's turn off the heated steering wheel. We're gonna run auto at 70, 68, 70. It just completed. Yep, complete. So let's turn climate control off for now while we unhook. The truck's nice and warm. I'm gonna unplug us, and then we're gonna literally head out right away. One of the problems with these charging stations is these cables are pretty short, and they have to be short because they run a lot of current. So we dumped in almost 30 kilowatt hours into this truck just then, which is pretty good because now we know the battery's warm. I mean, we've romped on this thing all day. It's been running nonstop, so it's fine. But literally the whole front is ice. Interestingly, headlights, not ice. I was driving this from Denver last night, and I showed you in a previous video that these were getting iced over. The whole bar here, straight ice. These, not so much. So, interesting. I don't know. Maybe they are heated to an extent. Definitely still do get iced over, but definitely have a longer icing or have a coating of some kind that the normal bar doesn't have. Let's go. Truck on, climate control, auto, 70. Trip B, boom. This one takes a second. There we go. Let's just back it off the curb. We have the exact way to get right up to this charger with the trailer now, like down. Been doing it all day. And off we go. We're gonna run headlights and front fogs just so it's constant. I like to have the most amount of light output possible, but as long as the test is the same each way, that's what matters. Got some cops over here. Don't pull us over. Everything is secured on the trailer. No need for concern.
These guys towing sand look suspicious.
Yeah, they're like, what are you doing? Are those drugs instead of sand? Eco-friendly smugglers. I guess the gear tunnel probably could be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait till they see what we have in the gear tunnel.
I don't know what we have in the gear tunnel. I think the trailer hitch cover. So just gentle accelerations. Again, standard procedure. We're gonna get up. We're in tow mode, obviously. Truck tow's so nice, by the way, compared to I towed with an F-150 earlier today. That's a sweet truck, but this thing, just with the weight and the suspension control, is so solid. And with a trailer this light behind us, I think it's less than 4,000 pounds the way it is, you can barely feel it at all. And we'll stop here because the light's going red. It's usually what you have to do at red lights. Nice Tacoma though.
This thing does turn more heads than I think anything I've ever driven.
Oh my goodness. It's actually almost dangerous because other people are taking pictures as you're driving and like waving. We had that truck that was like almost running into us because they were staring at this thing. It is a magnet for attention. And this is like a white one. Imagine if you had a bright blue or yellow one.
Yeah, compass yellow.
Compass yellow. Can I complain about the screen brightness really quick situation?
Yep.
So you have auto for day, night, but this brightness adjustment does not adjust automatically on this current software. So Rivian engineers, it's so annoying. Every time it's dark, I have the screens on nighttime, but they're bright in my face.
Yeah, Rivian, I have a suggestion. You have day and night, each with their own selectable brightness that gets saved with that setting.
Or just have the brightness automatic, like everyone else does.
That'd be great too.
That'd be the simplest. So we got to lock it at 72 miles an hour, and when you're towing, the adaptive cruise control is shut off, and you're just on normal cruise, like dummy cruise. Just locks the speed, but it does a great job. And I just love towing with this thing. I could do it across the country. I think it'd be great. We should do that.
Yeah.
What are you showing over here?
Just look at the screen.
It's not
Not
showing
much to
anything.
see there. 113 miles estimated.
Okay.
How accurate do you think that's going to be?
I don't
Because
know.
we were towing with very different trailers.
There's
earlier.
no wind now. There was wind earlier today,
Yeah.
so really not sure what to expect.
All right.
So, guys, take a look. We have no snow on our headlights right now, and I have to say they're pretty bright. So let's go to, this is just headlights, no fogs. I'm gonna go up one to fogs right there, so you can see it really lights up the side. So that's just keep the camera there. That is just lights, no fogs, and there are your fogs coming on. Amazing brightness difference. Now the cars ahead are pretty far away, but we'll do this just for a second. I'm gonna kick the high beams on. Really pretty great high beams, I have to say. Look at that, good beam down the center. Obviously the fog lights turn off, but that is great light output, I have to say. I was a little disappointed on day one because it was raining outside and the headlights had snow on them. But here, I would say they are more than acceptable. And personally, I would always drive the truck with the fog lights on just to get this nice wide spread up front. You know, just lighting up the entire section of roadway. It's really nice too, especially if you are driving at low speed on back roads and you're looking for deer and things like this. Having this really wide light span is so wonderful to have. We are now taking exit 7, our typical turnaround spot. I've just kicked it off cruise control. We're just going to gently pull her down to whatever we need to get to go around this corner. Headlights are good, ride quality's good, NVH is good. Other than that window, it's really a sorted truck, a very sorted truck. And honestly, I know I just nitpicked it for the last couple minutes, but thinking about it, Jordan, wouldn't you agree there's almost nothing else that's this appealing on the market?
I do agree. It looks good, drives good.
And it's got the best freaking sound system ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets better the more I listen to it. I don't know if it's just breaking in now.
That's true. It could still be breaking in.
Yeah, because I don't know what this truck did before, but I don't think... I mean, it was like a display truck for a lot of stuff, so...
I'd say top 3 sound systems, I think, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely got its own little character, but it really, for a small cab,
yeah,
pretty dang impressive.
And you get the Bluetooth speaker too, like just...
The speaker here thing is pretty sweet.
Camp speaker. Yep.
Yeah, we have a whole video review that you did.
Yeah.
Already live on this channel. Because that you're going to put up in the morning, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so that'll already be live. Got to hit 70 miles an hour, and all right, I was a little late there. Not a big deal. Locking it in. Back to Colorado. We are now approaching our Wellington, Colorado exit. Just rounding the final bend. And this thing is amazing at towing. We had a much bigger load behind it earlier, as I spoke about, but with a little utility trailer like this, which I feel like a lot of people are going to use, yeah, this truck is fantastic and pretty good range considering this shape of trailer. So well over 100 miles, probably closer to 150 miles with a trailer like this, something like that. Because we have 56 miles projected with this trailer, and we are at 42% state of charge. So pretty sweet. What we're going to do is we're going to get to the charge point station, we're going to look at the efficiency, and then we're going to go pick up the other trailer. And that's how we're going to know we, you know, basically have everything calculated correctly. So let's drive back over to the come and go charge point fueling stations. Fueling stations, how would you say that?
I guess filling can be unanimous for EV and gas.
I would agree. And in we go. Still handles well, even with a trailer and 1,500 pounds on the trailer.
Let's take it to the track.
Yep, we should take it to the track. And so pulling in, we're going to go back to the same spot where we started, just to make it super duper crazy fair and even. Nice old Golf. And let's do the loop. It's got a great turning radius, this truck. Watch this. Sweet. Look at that. Freaking sweet. And I'm pretty sure this is pretty close to where we started, wouldn't you say, Jordan?
Right about that, yep.
And into park. And then if I click this, and I click this, 1.09 miles per kilowatt hour. We use 53 kilowatt hours, but that's the big number. Now we need to go put the aero situation on the trailer and see if we do better or worse than that.
Let's do it.
We're back at the powerhouse now, where we have created, I think, the least aerodynamic efficient setup we could. We have a couple considerations here. First of all, this is going to act as a giant air brake, so that's exactly what we want. But we also don't want to have all the weight resting against this little pin right here. So we're going to support the back of this trailer with this strap into these side areas of the trailer here, just so this isn't getting, you know, yanked on at 70 miles an hour so hard. And then basically we'll just tie everything up here. We've basically cut out the entire mesh area where this is just going to act as a freaking brake. It might make the trailer dynamics a little weird, but as long as it tows fine, then it's worth the test in my opinion. So we'll get this all strapped in. We're going to head about 15 minutes back over to the charge point station, charge this up to 85% state of charge, and then conduct the test once again. Temperatures have been staying fairly consistent. It's colder up in Cheyenne, but that'll be the case here too. And I genuinely have no idea which is going to be better or worse, but we'll find out.
All right, so we got a big piece of wood here and another big piece of wood over there and a piece of metal type substance right here and a pallet right here that kind of holds it all together. Of course, we have the gate back here that's all leaning against. The pallet and the gate are acting as a sandwich and a little bit more of a 3D material with which I put 2 different toe straps on. One toe strap effectively holds the gate up without it relying just on the pins.
And that's this one that goes around post to post. So that supports the gate a little bit more forwards than the pins.
Yeah, holding the gate basically to this. And then the rest of it's strapped both to the gate and to the rail bars and hooked down here. So
right.
She ain't going nowhere.
That's what they say before something breaks.
You gotta do this.
Just do a watch this. Watch this explode on the highway. That would suck for whoever's behind us.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks tight, Jordan.
Yep. All right.
Let's do it. And now we have just plugged in at 23% state of charge, where we have loaded up the trailer with this wind ballast. I can already tell some of the wood has shifted slightly, so I may just try and rearrange and just really clamp down on this, but at least, you know, it's all within the confines of this and it's all pretty tight. So I took it up to a little bit higher speed just to make sure it would hold, and it certainly did, and it doesn't look like it's bending or damaging anything, so I'm pleased with that. And it definitely felt like a lot of resistance behind the truck, so yeah, it's definitely working hard, that's for sure. So I'm just gonna tighten everything down a little bit. We have a little bit of an open spot here, so we'll just try and pull this over, tighten this just a hair, and then we should be good to go for the test. I just added one more strap just for safety away from the pallet. So now we have a little bit of a top pull, a bottom pull. The back is held together just because I felt so much wind resistance. I was like, let's just really strap this thing down. And the truck should complete charging here momentarily. Oh, right there. That was right on time, actually. I got everything strapped down, just double checked it. Let's unplug this thing. That took an hour and 5 minutes to charge to 85%. Oh my goodness. Charge point. We need some freaking fast chargers here. I'm just gonna close that because some of the schmutz. There we go. Temperatures are almost identical. I think 1 or 2 degrees. I think 1 degree colder from when we left last time. Let's just do one final check. I'm glad we're doing this in the middle of the night. This kind of does freak me out a little bit. Just, you know, I'm making sure that the pins, there's no stress on these things. They're good. So that's kind of what I'm mostly worried about. These are both healthy. This is nice and tight. That's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. All right. I don't know what I would do if it falls off. Walk around the middle of the highway, I guess. Anyway, I'm hoping that should hold. And let's do this thing. Let's see what happens. I have no idea what to expect, but I think it's going to be, I really don't know. Like I said, literally no clue. Let's find out. So Jordan's not with me anymore, but well, there's a little less weight in the car, but that's okay. So we're gonna go 70 degrees. Well, actually, let's reset everything first. This, trip B, boom. Gotta hit it right there. Okay, now, lighting. We're gonna do lights with fogs. We're gonna go climate on auto at 70. No heated seats or anything like that. Into drive. Off we go. 2:40 in the morning. You've got to be kidding me. If these charge point chargers on our loop were 500 amp capable, I would have been asleep in bed by now. We're meeting everyone literally at 6 o'clock in the morning at the runway. I think, honestly, by the time I'm done with this test, unload the trailer, and then charge the Rivian to 100%, there will be no sleep for me tonight. Looks like I'll be sleeping after we do some runway stuff in the morning. Anyway, it's all part of the fun. Couldn't ask for anything better than to be able to test a Rivian. Who cares what time of day? This is freaking sweet. So the car is predicting really not much range, but let's see. Definitely was, I think at this point, just from driving it over from the office, with just the sandbags, it was predicting more range. So perhaps this will be less efficient. I don't know. We'll see. Pretty much everything in there weighs less than 30 pounds. I mean, it's really 40 pounds. It really doesn't weigh much compared to the 1,500 pounds we had in there. So let's left turn signal it, merge onto the highway, 70 miles an hour, 72 indicated. That's 70 GPS. Man, this truck is so freaking sweet. Just gentle accelerations. We don't want too much heat loss here. Just need to get it to 70 at the end. We'll lock it in cruise control, and that'll be that. What do you say? Got a truck. Looks like we're going faster than him. 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. Lock it in. There we go. The load's looking healthy back there. Let's do this thing. And here we are approaching our turnaround point as usual. Just gonna kick it off of 72 miles an hour right now. Back on the throttle for some gentle regen. And we're gonna do our typical loop. Well, I definitely am pleased with how everything's holding up on the trailer. No complaints, haven't even seen anything shift slightly. So that is reassuring. And also, I think it's a lot less efficient than before. You can see it's predicting under 100 miles on a full charge, because at 52% it thinks it can only go 47 miles. So that's initial report. We do need to do the loop to finish off the test, but let's finish off the test and then we'll crunch some numbers. And I love this roundabout. We can just coast on through. How sweet is that? And the motors on this truck, I know I keep saying everything over and over, but forgive me, it is just the coolest freaking thing on the planet, this truck. I love it. Really want one, actually. The more I drive it, the more I want one. Usually the more I spend time with a car, the less I want it. But not in this case. This is like so freaking awesome. Back up to 72 miles an hour indicated, 70 GPS. Off we go. Motors are sounding healthy. There we go. Lock her in. Boom. Ready to rock and roll. And here we are approaching the exit, just kicking it off 70 miles an hour right there. Everything's holding up just great. Can't even feel anything behind it if I'm honest, but definitely seeming more inefficient. We'll go plug it in to the charger because we got to do a full charge on this thing now for some videos coming soon. But I'm going to need a nap. I guess I'll take a nap in the Rivian. First time. Man, I wish I had the tent on the back still. I'm bummed I took that off. This is a perfect opportunity to use the tent for these very long 100% charges. I think it takes about 2 hours or so to go from pretty much dead to full. And maybe on these CPE 250s, probably more. I'm considering doing a charging test on these to find out. Anyway, let's go plug this thing in and take a look at our efficiency data once we reach the charger. So we are just pulling in, doing our typical loop, pulling into the parking lot, around the snowbank, walking up to the charger. I'm now going to pull the front camera on. Boom. We're going to use this wheel and pretty much touch it between these two curbs or these posts and touch this wheel right up on the curb is the plan. Kind of right about right there. And that's how we know we can make it. Let's take a look at the data in park here. Boom. Yikes. Aero. Big difference. Whoa. All right, we'll crunch the numbers in a little bit, but like, wow, that's a big difference. 22 miles of range projected with 25% state of charge. I wish there were different levels of auto climate. It's a little bit too aggressive for my liking. Wow, we got to start this thing charging, and then I'll catch up with y'all later on, and we can do the crunching of the numbers. But it looks like it all held together pretty well. And here we go. The fans are on. Hear that? Fans are running even though climate control's off. So it definitely seems to have gotten it a little warm. There was no power cut indication anywhere. We had full power output and full regen according to the displays, but definitely this is the first time all day, even after towing the big trailer, that I've heard the fans on. So yeah, this might actually be less efficient than even that 7,500 pound giant 24-foot trailer that we had. This is really interesting, really interesting. All right, let's get her plugged in. And now for some number crunching. Yeah, late night for sure, but let's take a look at what we have to work with. The truck unloaded normally, actually in every mode that I've tested, future video may be coming on this, 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour at 70 miles an hour. With the open trailer and 1,500 pounds of payload on that trailer, so in total just over 3,200 pounds or so, that was cut exactly in half the range, 49 point something percent, so just over half cut, boom. And then if we removed the weight and then had an aero penalty, that was then cut an additional 30%. And so, you know, this sort of lays to rest. You know, we've been getting a lot of comments. Oh, I've towed, you know, 10,000 pounds with XYZ. It's not about the weight. Certainly the weight does make a difference. If we had the weight and the aero, that would have been bad, right? But at least in this test, it seems to me that the aerodynamic component is way more important than the weight of what you're towing. And a lot of us have already known this, but we never had like a real test to prove it. And here's a real world test to prove it, at least one data point. I'd be curious to see as more people tow, if you can find tests like this and share them with me so we have more data to compile and we can learn how EVs handle towing. But I think definitely I would go for something heavier and more aerodynamic than something, does that make sense? Yes, than something lighter and less aerodynamic. It is time for bed. Thank you for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Thank you for joining us on another video here on the Rivian R1T. Plenty more to come, and we need to talk about charging station design with trailers at some point. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.